Am I the asshole for refusing to cook dinner for my stepmother and her guests after she's been refusing to let me eat the food she cooks? 16 meters here. My dad married my stepmom just about a year ago. She didn't want me to live here and wants me gone. I've insisted that I should stay as I don't want to live with my mom. Her husband is a piece of work. So we're always clashing. She announced last month that she wouldn't allow me to eat anything she cooks. Or cook anything that she buys, and I should arrange my own food completely separately. Down to the ingredient level. Including salt. Because I'm not her problem to deal with. This is annoying, but anyway. I can handle it, and I didn't want to act entitled, so I started buying and cooking my own food. We've been going like this since then. Her sister had an accident a few days ago, and on the day of the accident stepmother texted me in the afternoon saying she's bringing the sister's children over and they'll arrive around midnight. Asked me to buy groceries and snacks and make a late dinner for them. I never replied to her and didn't do anything. I have to say that while for a few hours it didn't look good for her sister and had to go into surgery, it ended up being successful and she will thankfully make a full recovery. They came. She noticed there's no food and they indeed were hungry, so she was angry at me and I told her that it's not my problem to deal with. And she said I'm being a jerk and I said takes one to know one. She ended up ordering pizza. My dad told me that I was out of line and I should have just done what she wanted me to do because it was an emergency. And I should have done a favor for her and it would have gone a long way to improve our relationship. Am I the asshole for asking my in-laws the same questions they ask me? Hello Reddit, IF30 got engaged to my fiancé a month ago. My in-laws, especially Mill, are the type of people that ask a lot of questions. Personal questions at that. Their questions tend to be hurtful sometimes, but I tried not to get easily offended and mistake it personal, but those questions are getting out of control. Instead of lashing out and being rude, I've decided to answer these questions by turning it back on my in-laws and asking them the same questions they ask me. For example, whenever my fiancé and I are visiting, my sister-in-law would ask, "Hey, when are you going to lose those pounds?" I go, "When are you going to lose those pounds?" "You've put up a lot of weight recently," while pointing at her eyes wide open. She'd get then easily offended. Father-in-law would ask, "When are you going to get your own house?" I go, "When are you going to get your own house?" "Aren't you 73 and still paying rent for your house?" "They live in rental house." He gets highly offended. Bill would ask, "When are you going to get married?" I go, "When are you going to get married?" "You don't even have a girlfriend yet." Quote, "They've obviously picked up on my vibe, but the blow up occurred last night when my fiancé and I were at their house for dinner. Mother-in-law looked at me whole I was eating and went on about kids and grandchildren. She then asked, "When are you going to start giving us babies?" My fiancé looked at me with an "oh boy" type of way. I felt no hesitation. I looked at her and said, "When are you going to start giving us babies? That's what I want to know." The table went quiet though some family members laughed. Mother-in-law and her daughter and husband mad, all types of angry faces. Then dinner was over. I got scolded by my fiancé on the way home, telling me I was being rude with the way I talk back and respond to his family's innocent questions. Yeah, questions they've already asked a million times before. Hard eye roll. But whatever. We got into an argument and he then looked at me and said, "Why are you being hostile?" I said, "Why are you being hostile?" Getting in my face and yelling. He yelled at me again saying I'm driving him crazy and called me childish and an immature, then stormed off to the bathroom. Am I the asshole really? Am I the asshole for growing vegetables in my front lawn? We have a moderately sized house with a backyard and front yard. I hate lawns personally because I'd rather grow things on there, but my husband was concerned about the resale value of our home if we don't maintain a lawn. So I used raised beds to grow vegetables. This year he realized we were saving hundreds of dollars on groceries by growing our own, so he tore up the entire backyard and we have been living completely off our garden. The only things we need to buy from the grocery store now are meats and grains basically. With food prices going bonkers, it's been amazing for saving money and the food tastes much better. But we have been running out of space, so I sold my rose bushes in flower bed front of the house and replaced it with lettuce and kale. Most of the front lawn is still intact, but where I used to have flowers I now have things we can eat. My neighbors have not been happy and someone called it trashy and ghetto-like to my face, and I've been told multiple times I'm ruining the community's property value. I'm not a part of NWA and my garden is well maintained, so they can't do anything, but I'm worried they will come and rip up my garden. My husband has set up security cameras. Oh, and I'm also the one with a clothesline in my backyard and they hate that too. I was called inappropriate for hanging boxers when my neighbor's son was also in the backyard. Am I the asshole for ordering for my sister's boyfriend while ordering all of the family-style plates at a restaurant? Last night my parents asked to go out to dinner and offered to pay for everyone at a restaurant they wanted to share. They invited me, my husband, my sister, and her boyfriend. I'll call him Dave. My sister also invited a friend from work. This restaurant encourages family style and that is what my parents wanted to pay for. Dave told the table that he would need a separate plate of noodles. pad thai, in addition to his share of the family-style plates. I started helping my mom build the list of dishes to order and we asked everyone what they would like. Then I went over the list with everyone and asked if everyone was happy. My dad is nearly deaf. My mom can be shy. And my sister isn't very interested. So I would typically be the one to order in these scenarios. But I am never making decisions for other people. Just collecting the list and ordering it. When the waitress came back, I told her the list of shared dishes. About 8 total. And also ordered the pad thai for Dave and clarified that it would be for him. Not shared. She then asked him if he wanted to add a protein. I was kind of stunned. He was at the other end of the table and I didn't mean to upset him. I thought I was being nice by making sure his separate dish was ordered. And I didn't feel like I should be called out repeatedly in front of everyone. To be honest, I've been frustrated with Dave lately because he is living with my parents and sister and he doesn't contribute financially. I thought it was a bit rude for him to insist that my parents buy him an extra plate at a family-style dinner they were paying for. So adding on his very public outburst over me ordering for him has made me upset. I talked to my sister about how Dave's behavior last night made me frustrated and she said I was being overly sensitive and that it was rude for me to order Dave's dish. Am I the asshole for sticking to my agreed amount for stepdaughter's birthday? My oldest stepdaughter, Bree, is turning 17 soon. I agreed to contribute $500 towards her gift. That's the same amount I contribute towards my bio kid's gifts, so Bree is not being shorted by me in any way. My husband was completely fine with my $500 on today. I learned it came out how much what Bree wants is actually going to cost. Bree wants concert tickets, got her and her 2 best friends that are $750 each. For us to pay for them to eat at a nice steakhouse. Think $, and up pricing. And a limousine for the evening to drive Bree and her friends around and take a late night tour of the city after the concert. My husband is a pushover when it comes to Bree and basically never tells her no. So he said yes, without talking to me about it first, and is now expecting me to split the total cost 3 ways with him and his ex-wife. The total will be over $3,000 for what Bree wants. Which puts me on the hook for $1,000, which is over twice what I agreed to. I told my husband that I will be happy to contribute what I agreed to and that's it. My part is done. His stance is, it's Bree's birthday and I should want her to have the best night and time possible. That I should love her enough to want to do extra to make her feel special. My stance is, I agreed to $500 per kid for birthdays and holidays. Whether they are my bios or step kids. That way they all get the same from me and they know it. I didn't bend on that for my bios and I don't intend to bend on it for Bree. Husband says I need to reconsider as it's a one-time thing that would mean the world to Bree and I have the ability to help make a child's birthday dreams come true. He gets he can't force me, but I need to think long and hard if I'm willing to take this away from Bree and break her heart. I ended up just transferring the $500 from my account to his and telling him I've done my agreed upon part, so I'm done with it. He can either use it or not, but I'm not going to feel guilty because Bree asks for expensive shit for her birthday. Ada. My husband and I each agreed to contribute $500 per kid for birthdays and holidays. He does not neglect my bios just as I do not neglect his.